Well, joining us now to talk more about active shooter training is Steve Smith, who is CEO of Guardian Defense Plan. Steve, thank you so much for being here. We know your company trains schools, places of worship, businesses for these type of active shooter situations. So scary, so terrifying for any of us to think about being in a situation like that. If you are in a grocery store or a church, for example, this weekend shootings, what's the first thing you tell people to do?
Well, first, Nichole, thank you for having me on. And again, my deepest condolences go out to the surviving victims and the victims' families that were plagued with this horrific attack in Buffalo and also in California. So, it's all very situational dependent. This is an ambush, and it's something that people just need to know how to respond to and be educated on. So depending upon a lot of these attacks that are occurring in these open air environments, like the places of worship or the supermarkets, like you saw in Buffalo, it's very open and people need to move. They need to move to an evacuation or a location they can isolate in and try to barricade those doors to get away from that assailant.
All right, that makes sense. So one mass shooting happened Saturday, another happened Sunday. There are countless, acts of gun violence across the country, many times that we're not reporting on. But knowing that, are you seeing more requests for the type of training that your company offers?
Yeah, we do. We see a lot of requests within our region and definitely throughout the country. We've been plagued in our state of Florida with some really significant events about 20 miles from the Parkland incident that happened in Marty Stoneman Douglas that left 17 dead, and the Fort Lauderdale Airport, which left 5 dead. So when these things happen, yes, we get flooded with a lot of potential clients that want to reach out and just know what to do, have a plan, not just for maybe their workplace, but also just for their families when these kind of things could happen anywhere out in public now. So it's just something that people need to recognize and have a plan for. God forbid something like this does happen to them.
Right, absolutely. And, we saw in the case of that shooting at the church in California, we know the pastor and the congregants actually worked together to detain that alleged gunman. Is that a strategy you recommend? Because a lot of times, I think people just automatically freeze. They're so scared.
Absolutely. I mean, the startled response freezing, which people talk about, is something that's very natural when there's an ambush, when you're not expecting something this horrific and evil to happen at any given time. So yes, it is very natural for that sort of response, but it's also very natural when you are prepared for something like this and have been educated and maybe had some drills and trained for that. One of the other options is to defend yourself and others people's lives. And the people who take an action like that are heroic. And whether or not that saves more lives or they think that didn't, it absolutely does. Taking action when the right time really comes to them is the moment that really could save other people's lives without them even really knowing.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like that they did the right thing here? Because, obviously they may have prevented, other lives from being taken, but obviously, putting themselves at great risk.
Absolutely. And again, this is the worst day. And that's why when we do training, there's a variety of different options that we talk about. And defense is one of those. And you got to, it's a split-second decision, and absolutely, I want people to know that those people save lives, 100%. When these types of these kind of ambush attacks happen, what we can do is we train to mitigate mass casualties. We can't ever say that we're going to prevent serious injury or death because it's happening right then and there when people aren't expecting it. But the actions people take, whether or not they move to an evacuation location, isolate, or try to go to defend themselves or other people, absolutely saves lives every single time.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.